Now, over this last week, quite a lot of news within the gaming sphere has emerged. More layoffs over Activision Blizzard, leaving only 12 people left in the esports division, the esports organization TSM only having 9 employees left, and Pokimane announcing that she'll be making the move over to YouTube after a decade of streaming on Twitch. Now, that's quite a bit of news, but a lot of it's kind of just surface level. With PlayStation State of Play happening just this morning, I thought to do something a little bit different. I wanted to compare it with Xbox's Developer Direct, which happened just a couple weeks ago now. Now, obviously, it's not entirely fair to compare State of Play to Xbox's Developer Direct one-to-one, as Xbox's Developer Direct is a lot more intimate as it includes the developers as they talk in depth about the game that they're developing. But I thought it'd just be a little bit fun as we pit two of the biggest gaming conglomerates in the world against one another, in terms of their presentation skills. That and the roster of games in which they announced. Hi, my name's Lewis from Kakuchopurei, and welcome to Push to Talk, the weekly video series where we just talk about video games. So let's just hop right into it. Now, to me, probably the biggest announcement to come from Xbox Developer Direct is Obsidian Entertainment's Avowed. Now, Avowed has been an extremely hyped game for the longest time, is considered to be the next Skyrim of sorts, but I did find this part of the showcase to be extremely insightful as, well, Xbox Direct usually features a lot of the developers talking in depth about the game. And in my opinion, this is probably the key factor to what makes Xbox Developer Direct more appealing rather than State of Play. State of Play just feels a little bit more corporate. Now, Avowed is an extremely hyped up game. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for it to come out. As somebody who spent hundreds upon hundreds of hours in Skyrim, I'm just looking forward to another kind of medieval type of magical fantasy. Now, the next game that was featured was Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. It looks really cool. I think the premise is really promising. You know, having a kind of psychotic Viking Valkyrie-esque character who suffers with mental instability or a possible mental illness is definitely something that I feel is a concept that I think should be explored more in at least violent video games, to do with very traumatic and trauma-inducing scenarios like war, for example. I feel as though it makes for extremely good character development and just a great character story overall. Now, the only other noteworthy game that was showcased during Xbox's Developer Direct was the Indiana Jones first-person game. Honestly, by the looks of the trailer that was featured here, it looks absolutely incredible. I think it's going to be quite a lot of fun. I think it's definitely going to be a sleeper hit of sorts. Indiana Jones obviously has a die-hard massive fan base, and I feel as though that you know, this is a great opportunity for Lucasfilms and Disney to kind of enter a new realm of gaming where it's, first-person exploration rather than their typical, you know, Star Wars, for example. Don't get me wrong, the Jedi series is really good, but I feel as though this is a great take on Indiana Jones, and in a way that just hasn't really been done before in terms of exploration and just Indiana Jones being Indiana Jones, you know? There were obviously other games that were featured during Xbox Developer Direct. I'm not really going to talk about them too much, like, for example, Ara History Untold. Yeah, they're cool looking games, and I'm sure people are going to love playing them, but to me, they're not big enough titles to convince me that Xbox Developer Direct did a better job than PlayStation State of Play. I mean, just hopping straight into State of Play, we just got given a gameplay trailer for what do you call it, Helldivers 2, which looks fucking phenomenal. I'm not really familiar with the franchise, but it just looks incredible. So they straight away just come in with the hypest trailer that they have right now. Like I mentioned earlier, State of Play does feel a little bit more corporate. Yes, there are words from the heads of the studio, but it's not as intimate as Developer Direct is. Like right here, you know, we've got the head of PlayStation Studios. He's addressing us and talking to us about the titles that are being provided at the moment. It kind of feels like an E3 panel, except a lot less intimate because you're not in person. Now, even the second trailer in, we have Stellar Blade, which looks absolutely phenomenal. It's an extremely long trailer, I'll give it that. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Stellar Blade is probably the equivalent to the Indiana Jones game that was featured on Xbox Developer Direct, in terms of just its hypeness and just the way that it looks. Obviously, Indiana Jones will have a bigger fan base to begin with, but this looks absolutely incredible, just graphically speaking, and even the plotline sounds really intriguing. It definitely sounds like an anime plotline, which to me as a weeb is extremely appealing. Now, after this, we were all surprised as the new Silent Hill game was announced. I am not personally the biggest fan of Silent Hill games. I'm not that experienced with them either. Then again, I'm just a big fat pussy when it comes to horror games, so just I'm not really into that jump scare kind of vibe, you know. But Yeah, no, it looks absolutely incredible, and I know for longtime fans of the series that this was just great, phenomenal news. I'm not gonna lie, Silent Hill does have an extremely loyal fan base and an extremely vocal one at that as well. So yeah, I think a surprise announcement like this that pleased so many people, I feel as though that definitely credits State of Play to be somewhat better than Xbox Developer Direct. If you can't already tell, I genuinely do think that State of Play overall has done a better job. But we can talk more in depth after this. But yeah, that's Silent Hill: The Short Message, which is going to be a full free-to-play game. And then straight after, we had the Silent Hill 2 remake, which is, again, we got a great fucking trailer. We also got a new trailer for Dragon Dogma 2. Again, looks extremely fucking cool. I don't really need to praise this that much. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this game, so, you know, so just to see another gameplay trailer is just makes me happy, you know? Now, next up, we've got the Rise of the Ronin, which is a game that I'm extremely looking forward to. The time setting, the gameplay mechanics, and just everything just looks so phenomenal. It definitely reminds me of an Assassin's Creed game, to an extent at least, in terms of just the roaming capabilities and a little bit of the combat. Obviously, very, very different. They've obviously done their own take on the combat, but yeah, just everything about it looks really cool. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think this is probably my highlight pick of the entire showcase, to be honest. And then it was also announced just after the Death Stranding 2 trailer that Hideo Kojima is going to be working on a brand new espionage game that is meant to be a somewhat spiritual successor to the beloved Metal Gear Solid series, named Ficent. I'm not entirely sure. As someone who absolutely loves the Metal Gear Solid series in terms of its story and lore, I'm extremely looking forward to this and keen to see what he's going to do and the world he's going to create. It's kind of like what they're about to mention here, where the game is going to be somewhat of a kind of like a movie as well as a game, which only excites me even more because the MGS series had such an in-depth story and lore, as well as world building, that it really does draw you in like movies do sometimes. It's going to be like an interactive movie of sorts. So to round out this, they announced that there's going to be another showcase for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. All in all, I think we have a very clear winner. Although I do prefer Xbox Developer Direct's format in terms of its intimacy and having the developers talk in depth about the game, State of Play's roster was just so insanely packed. So I guess who did it better? I think personally State of Play, but do let me know what you guys think down below. Looks like we have an extremely exciting year ahead of us in terms of video games, and I'm really looking forward to it. Especially in this time where there's a lot of layoffs happening within the gaming industry, whether it be game development or esports. I'm thankful that State of Play happened now because, you know, we've had bad news after bad news after bad news. To have some finally good news is such a relief. It makes me really look forward to 2024 in terms of video games. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. As I mentioned before, do let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to like, subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. And obviously ding dong that notification bell to be notified when we upload next, because we upload videos every single week. That's it for this week's episode of Push Your Talk. My name's been Lewis from Kakuchopurei, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao for now.